Welcome, rugby fans, to Rugby411. As always, I'm your host. My name is Joshua Shibata, and this is a Week 2 MLR preview of the second week of the MLR 2022 season, as well as an update on our SuperBru Pick'em Pool. And again, I want to thank everybody that took part in our Pick'em Pool. The turnout was better than I expected because it's not just me playing. And if you want to join, you still have time. You just got to make your picks now because week 2 is going to start in just a couple of hours, which we're going to talk about in just a moment. And it's been a lot of fun so far in just week 1. We'll go over who's on top in the standings right now. And remember, if you are the top scorer at the end of the season, you will win a MLR t-shirt of your favorite MLR team. Again, just because you missed week 1, I've seen people win a pool coming into week 2. After that, it gets a little bit hard, but hey, if you want to play just for fun and see how well you can do, MLR, this is a great way to get in key with Major League Rugby and keeping track and getting into the teams by just playing pick'em. You know, it's a lot of fun, and really, it doesn't require a lot of skill at all. A lot of it could be pretty much luck. But anyways, let's go into week 2 preview and some tough games, to be honest. First game, we're kicking off a little early in the week 2 season today, literally a couple of hours from now, 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Utah is going over to Seattle at Starfire Stadium to play the Seattle Seawolves. Feel kind of bad for both teams because both teams played on Sunday. That was like, they were 2 of the last games of the week, so very quick turnaround. Seattle has a little bit more advantage being at home. Utah has to travel. This is a tough game for me because Seattle looked really good in their win over the Toronto Arrows. The seawall, which they were famous for when they won the MLR championship 2 times in a row, it looks like it's come back. Utah looked a little rusty in their very close loss to San Diego, but they started pulling in that firepower, which they were known for last season. You know, it's really going to come down to which is going to give up first. Is it going to be the Seattle defense or the Utah offense? And I have a feeling, even those playing in Seattle, and again, this is a tough one for me, but I have a feeling Utah is going to come up on top. I had them in the preseason, even with week 1. And again, Seattle looked much, much better than before. I have them here in this win, but it's going to be very close. It's going to be very, very... Don't underestimate that Seattle home field advantage. That Starfire Stadium, they are known as the 16th man on the pitch. They are very loud. They are very boisterous. So that may come into play, but I think Utah just has more firepower, and Seattle still just doesn't have enough weapons to counteract Utah. Moving on, the only game on Friday night, on the 11th of February, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, the reigning, defending MLR champions who did not look very good in week 1 tries to bounce back at the Toronto Arrows. Not necessarily a home game for Toronto. They're still on the longest road trip in the history of all Major League sports, but they are going to be playing in Canada, in British Columbia, so actually a little bit better for LA. It's more west, so directly up north of us, than to going all the way to Toronto. So a little bit better. Guiltinis are not known for traveling very well. Last season, they had a lot of struggles. I mean, they just lost this season so far against Houston at Houston. But, Toronto had a lot of miscues in week 1. We'll see if they can get that quick turnaround. And again, they have a quicker turnaround than LA. LA got to play on Saturday. They had to play on Sunday. We'll see. But I feel... And again, I might be a homer on this one, but I feel that LA will get their act together. I saw the lineup that they're going to put out. A few changes, bringing in Will Chambers to play as a winger to start, moving Hanko Hermesheis to flanker, which may be more his natural position than number 8. I feel some of the changes, Andrew Tuala as hooker, might make the difference. We'll see. I think that I'll stay confident and I have to be confident, with LA and have them over the Toronto Arrows. Now, I'm sure, I haven't looked, and I don't ever tend to look at what the pick'ems for everybody else in our SuperBru poll, but I'm pretty sure everybody picked LA to win. I think that might change with week 2, but I'm going to still stick with LA, and hopefully they'll get their first win of the season. Moving on to Saturday, where the remainder of the games are going to be playing. First up, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Saturday, February 12th, we have the new kids on the block, the Dallas Jackals, going over to San Diego State University to play against the San Diego Legion. Now, the San Diego Legion looked pretty good against Utah in their win. Kind of fell apart near the end. Dallas, like I said before, looked much better in week number 1 than I thought they would. But I don't feel they have the firepower that other MLR teams have, including San Diego. So I think San Diego will win this one pretty handedly and go on to being 2-0 in the league. All right, and moving on to the rest of the games on Saturday, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we have Rooney playing their first game of their 2022 campaign, going over to Aviva Stadium to play against the Houston SaberCats, who had a very good win against the LA Guiltinis. Some problems in that win, but a win's still a win. I think Rooney will not be underestimating Houston, especially with that win over LA. I think Rooney has just as much firepower, if any team, just like the LA Guiltinis. I think what also will be very interesting for this storyline is the fact that former player for Houston, Sam Windsor, is now with Rooney. Top point scorer of all time for MLR, top point scorer of last season. So that will definitely be a very interesting storyline to follow in this game. Not to say that Houston's win over LA was a fluke, but I don't think they can do it a second time. I will be shocked. And honestly, if they do beat Rooney, then I feel they are legitimately a front runner all of a sudden for this season. Because knocking off LA, knocking off Rooney, I mean, that's really, really impressive to do. So going with Rugby United New York, taking the win over Houston in Sam Windsor's return to Aviva Stadium. Also at that same time, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we have Rugby ATL going over to the Gold Mine to play NOLA Gold. Again, NOLA has lost a lot of firepower. Another, Mark O'Keefe from Rugby ATL. I'm sorry, not Mark O'Keefe, but Rugby ATL have a lot of weapons of themselves, and, they have just so many more weapons than NOLA does. Very impressive in their win over Old Glory, 55-22, I believe was the score. Yeah, I just don't think that's going to stop, and I don't think NOLA's going to do enough to stop them. Interesting will be to see the status of Carl Myers, their fly half, because obviously he will make a huge difference in this game, but I still don't think enough to topple Rugby ATL, the power ranking number 1 team of MLR, according to my power rankings. I think I had this as the highest point spread. I think I had ATL with 14 points over NOLA, even though it is a away team. But, I think ATL will win that one. And then the last game of the week, 6 p.m., Old Glory DC goes over to Austin to play the Gil Gronies. Again, Old Glory, they gave it a good old try against ATL. To be honest, this game is pretty much going to be the same, or on paper looks like it's going to be pretty much the same game as week 1, unfortunately for Old Glory. Austin just has as much firepower as ATL does. And, we'll see if Old Glory can hang with Austin. They were able to hang with ATL for the first 15 minutes and then completely fell off, losing 55-22. Austin has just as much firepower, and I feel they will handle Old Glory just as easily. So, that's it. And those are my picks. And just for review, I will post my picks at the very end of the video. But that's it for week 2. And we'll go take a look at the SuperBru standings right now. And as you see, here is our SuperBru Pick'em standings after just 1 week of MLR play. Again, thank you everybody for participating. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot. And hopefully, you know, as the season progresses, maybe we'll get more people, or at least next year when we do this again, it'll be even bigger pool. But right now, these are our top players. Sitting at number 1, not to brag, I got very lucky, to be honest. The difference between me and SD Cow Guy, I think that's what it stands for, SDCA, SD Cow Guy, and the very famous Scary Larry, is just I had better bonus points. Yeah, I got the bonus points with, I believe, the Utah game, and I got bonus points, I got bonus points with the Free Jacks and New Orleans game and the Seattle and Toronto Arrows game. So that just made me a point ahead of both of them. I'm sitting at 6.5. SD Calga and Scary Larry at 5.5 apiece. And then we have, I'm pretty bad at this, which is a great name, tied for 3rd with Tex. Both of them at 4. And then we got the rest at 3. And Frisco, come on, man. Come on. I mean, at least try, you know. But yeah, that's, again, thank you guys very much for joining us. Again, it's just the beginning. It'll be fun to see. Scary Larry is very scary. He's really good at this pick'em. He actually uses science on this one, while mine is kind of a shot in the dark sometimes. But again, you know, just like the power rankings, these will probably go up and down depending on how it is. And good luck, you guys, to week number 2. Make sure you make your picks. Make sure you make at least the Utah Seattle game pick now, because that game is going to be starting in just a couple of hours. So good luck, everybody. Again, if you want to join into the SuperBru League, instructions are in the description comments of the video. And again, guys, thank you very much for joining in on this, and I hope you guys have a great time. And again, enjoy all the action MLR. You can catch it all free on the Rugby Network app. It's a wonderful device. You can also watch other sports competitions, including Japan League 1 and maybe some other international competitions soon. We'll see. But absolutely free. Everything's on demand. A great service. And yeah, that's it. So thank you guys for joining us, and I'll see you guys after week number 2.